Hey there, folks. It's Dylan from Alternate Universes here, and we are here with another round of Modern. We have Krista Oskopinski playing her Boros Obosh Midrange or Orbosh deck versus Dan Giasanti, who's on the Canister Death Shadow list. Yeah, so let's get into it. We got Krista at 14,000. I don't know if we had, like, there it is. Alright, cool. When I was setting up the camera, we had complications with Event Link, and I had to build, the entire event in a different software, so we weren't ready to record yet. So we had to quicken that up. Dan here is going to fetch a Blood Crypt, play a Dragon 3 Channeler, play a Mishra's Bauble, surveil a card, probably dump it into the graveyard. Oh, we're looking at it. Keep it on top. Okay, it's a good card. One of the best plays in Modern is Fetch, Shock, Channeler, Mishra's Bauble. Big fan, big fan. Alright. Folks, if you are watching this, it means this video has gone up and is live. It should be Thursday. Yes, Thursday, June 9th. If you are looking for something to do this weekend, Saturday, June 11th, we are hosting a 1K style event at Alternate Universes Bluebell for the first, second, third, and I think first, second, and third place, maybe fourth place as well. Get a WPN Hidetsugu who consumes all... No. That's the enchantment. Whichever the Hidetsugu that has the crazy neon ink is, we're giving out those to top placing players, as well as a door prize to one person. We'll be starting registration at 11 a.m. and round 1 will start at 12. This is Saturday, June 6th, June 11th. I don't know dates. At Alternate Universes Bluebell. The format is Modern. Be there or be square. I think I will be there playing. No guarantees, though. If I'm not playing, I'll be recording. Alright, so Krista's going to evoke a Solitude here, pitching a March of Otherworldly Light, and then ephemerating said Solitude in response to the Thoughtseize. Whew. We've seen that play from Krista a good bit. I think at this point she's currently 26-0. Or maybe she's 25-0. I've lost track. I'm not gonna lie to you. She's got a lot a lot of matches going on. A lot of matches have gone on the camera. Alright, Dan is going to fetch here with a Scalding Tarn. Grabbing a red-blue... Oh, good, just gonna bolt the Solitude. So definitively getting a land that produces red mana. Probably getting a Steam Vents. As he has Grixis, he wants to complete his, 3-color assortment. Grixis is gonna play Marsh Flats and pass. Now, she does have, pretty good card draw between Seasoned Pyromancer and... Oh, no. Hidetsugu who consumes all popped in my head again. It's not that. It's Reflections. It's the Kiki Jiki one. Reflections of the Mirror Breaker. Because the second chapter on that one is you can discard up to 2 cards and you draw that many. Which is honestly pretty good card draw for red. It's more so card selection, I guess, than card draw, but... It's nice. Alright, so we're getting Expressive Iteration here. I wonder if Dan has Ledger Shredder in his list. I feel like, yep. Actually, I feel like he just picked it up. I feel like you have to. That card is just absurdly strong. Yep, it's a Ledger Shredder right there. 2-mana creature from the streets of New Capenna. It is a Bird Lawyer, and it's a Bird Advisor, but we call it a Bird Lawyer at the shop. It's a 1/3 with a Connive mechanic on it, and it's a flyer. Card does a lot of work. It excels really well in Blue-Red Murktide. It's what I've been playing a lot lately, just because I'm a big fan of that. Is it grinds tempo style, and the bird has been pretty nice. Big fan of it. Krista's going to fetch with that martial arts here. Probably going to fetch a basic Plains, as she is known to do. Those who aggressively fetch basic Plains give me Night Terrors. Alright, so leading up a Bloodstained Mire here. Maybe having a Fatal Push in hand, in case he has to use a Revolt trigger to kill something. Alright, there's a Plains, there's a Blood Moon. Going to fetch in response to the Blood Moon, getting a basic. That way Dan's not just trapped with red mana. And I feel like whenever I played Death Shadow and I ran into Blood Moon, it always hurt. I feel like I always was damn it. Because I would always forget to fetch like an island, or my like fetches that I would draw would never line up with what I wanted to do, and I would get punished for it. I remember that I had a customer ask me if I had a card. I think I do. I think I have an extra one for them. I don't know where it would be. Alright, so fetching out a basic swamp. Gonna play a mountain as land for turn. We're going to untap. This Bloodwing's really going to slow the pace of the game down, which is going to be nice, because this really lets Crystal, like, buy her way back into the game. Because when she got Thought Seized and the Ragavan was taken away, she only had 2 lands in hand, so she's kind of just in top deck mode. There's the Thought Seized, going to take the Obosh, still with a land in hand. She has 2 basic planes, so she's able to just cast any of the white things in her deck. I think Ranger Captain of Eos is the most mana-intensive white card she plays. There is a Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Is the backside... I think I asked this last time. I can't remember. Let's go to TCG Player. Is it Reflections of Kiki-Jiki or Reflections of the Mirror Breaker? Reflection of Kiki-Jiki. That's what it is. Fantastic card, folks. If you haven't played with it yet, I definitely recommend it. It's a lot of fun. It does a lot of things. And who doesn't want their cards doing a lot of things while also being fun at the same time? Right, so Dan is at 10 here. Just going to pass the turn. That's going to go to 2. Chris is going to debate if she wants to discard it to get a redraw. I think if it's anything but a land, you keep it, right? Attacking for 2. Going to make a treasure token. Definitively has access to as much white mana as she wants to. Alright, he's going to play Grim Lavamancer out. Okay, cool. If you're not too sure what this does, effectively it lets you shock your opponent. But I think it's like exile 2. You pay a red mana, you tap it, and you can exile 2 cards from your graveyard, and then deal 2 damage to target creature or player. Nice. I did know that. Go me. The Torment art is sick. About that. Alright, so Kiki-Jiki is going to get revealed here. He's going to pop his way out the mirror. And Dan's kind of on a clock here. He's at 8. He can't really play many spells. I'm going to go to 6. And then Grista, I think, just kills him if she untaps, because she can activate the Lavamancer during Dan's turn. Oh, okay. So we're going to kill the Mirror Breaker. Means he doesn't definitively die. No, he still dies, right? Like, takes 2 to Lavamancer. Untap, take 2 from Yoshino Warrior. The Goblin Warrior. Gigantha. Okay. Gonna shoot for 2. So the clock has been reduced to 2 turns. I'm pretty sure Gigantha taps to add 1 of each mana color, which is kind of cool and kind of helpful for Daniel. Because if he has, like, red-blue spells in his hand, I feel like, is there a limitation to what you can spend it on, though? Gigantha, the Wellspring. Can't be paid to spend generic mana costs. Yeah, it's still pretty good, like... The generic cost is not what Dan needs right now. Chris is going to exile 2 cards. And yep, Chris is just going to kill him during her turn. She's going to take game 1. We will be right back with game 2, folks, in just a second. Holy crap, it was, in fact, just a second. I always forget when I pre-cut these to jump to the next round. Get prepared to be like, all right, yeah, let's take a sip of coffee and then cut the round. But nope. There's a down of the bugbear leading to a Ragavan Nibble Pilferer, which is going to die to an Unholy Heat immediately. Very rarely do your Ragavans get to stick around in red mirrors. Which makes sense, right? Like, you got Bolt, you got Heat. Lots of things kill, kill the monkey. Fetching a Blood Crypt here. Doing some nice shuffling here. So Dan is, he plays these decks a lot, or this like style of deck a lot. I knew him as a Shadow player for a good long bit of time, when Lyris was still legal. He plays Murktide here and there. I think just whenever he has an excuse to go back to a Shadow deck, that's what he goes for. Alright, fetching again. I imagine going down to 14. There's usually very little reason to not fetch Shock twice. Grab out of Steam Vents. Makes sense. It's like the card's really good, and you need both colors. I wonder if he's playing Omnixilus. Was Caster playing Omnixilus? I don't think Caster is playing Omnixilus. I think he was just full on like the Shredder game style, play style. Speaking of a Shredder, here comes the Bird Lawyer. What's cool is if you have like a Mishra's Bauble in your hand, you can turn to cast a Shredder. It recognizes that it's the first spell you play this turn, and then you can cast Mishra's Bauble, and then get a Connive trigger going. But the bird is not long for the world. It got prismatic ending. Hit with a prismatic ending? It was ended prismatically. See a Polluted Delta / Watery Grave in Dan's hand? Holy crap, I'm blind. That's the Scalding Tarn. There's a Drown Lock, Expressive Iteration. I thought I saw blue-black on the card, and I was like, ah, yeah. It's one of these two things. It's not. Not at all. Alright, Krista fetching here. I was probably just getting a basic Plains. It was cool. So at our weekly, we had I think 24 players this week. There was somebody else playing Krista's deck, which I thought was really cool. It's nice to see like people are picking it up. It is a cool deck. There's a Drown the Lock for the Fable of the Mirror Breaker. No advantage engine for you. And here, debating if he wants to fetch, I think. Oh, he has 2 Expressive Iterations in hand. Okay. Not a bad card, let me tell you. My shoulder. Alright, iteration. Let's look at the top 3 cards of our deck. Pick one to go in our hand, one to get exiled that can be played this turn, and one that's going to go in the bottom of the deck. I see 2 lands, one of which being a fetch. Then 1 card that just got automatically slapped into the hand. Then it's going to go to 12. That's the card. Thoughtseize, okay. So we have Seasoned Pyromancer and Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Both are going to eventually offer Krista a redraw opportunity. I'm not sure which one's the correct one to take. If you take Seasoned Pyromancer, it gives, like... I feel like it has to be Pyro. Because, like, the Graveyard effect can come up, but it's 5 mana. And I think it only makes 1/1s, so it's not too bad. But if Krista can get an engine going in Fable of the Mirror Breaker, it could also just end up being an issue. Speaking of which, here comes the enchantment. Saga's going to make a 2/2 Goblin Warrior. Krista always prepared with the tokens, which is always much appreciated. Alright, fetching out a tap Steam Vents. Not really wanting to go much lower. His shadows are currently 4/4s though, if he plays any out. You just have to find them, but Expressive Duration is pretty good at digging, so. I'm trying to remember the rest of the tournament. I'm like sitting here like, oh, how did this round go? Or like, what's round 2? What do I need to mentally prep myself for? Do I remember what happens? I saw an Unholy Heat? Or it could be a Lightning Bolt, actually. Dan does have the fancy Lightning Bolts. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Bolt. Some removal spell. Reveals the bolt. Put what looked like a Drown in the Lock into his hand. There's a land for turn. Gonna fetch. How many Crocus he plays? Gonna fetch a basic mountain. Gonna bolt the warrior. We have an 11-point life difference right now. Granted, most of that has been Dan doing it to himself, but hey, actually, I think it's all of it. Is Krista connected with anything yet? No, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's all between Fat Shocks and Thoughtseize. There's a Mishra's Bauble. Maybe that was a card he took off of the iteration. Well, if that's the case, I don't know why he exiled the Bolt. Krista fetching a Sacred Foundry here. In need of some red mana. Alright, discarding 2 cards. Another Den of the Bugbear and a Blossoming Calm. Obosh, that's what it was. I was trying to remember the name that Krista had given me for the deck. Grabbing a basic mountain here. Which I'm not going to lie to you, might be the first time I've ever seen her fetch a basic mountain. I could be wrong, but I think that's the first time I've ever seen her do that. Alright, 3 mana buying Obosh to hand. Just going to pass the turn. There's a Polluted Delta in his hand this time. What if he plays any basic islands? Ooh. There's another swamp coming down. Or, I guess, the first swamp of this game. But it's always the thing. It's always how it works, man. You fetch around Blood Moon when they don't have the Blood Moon. But when they do, that's when you forget. The Blood Moon's something you gotta fetch around. I need to buy a cabinet. Alright, 3 mana. Buying Gigantha. I always like watching the companion mirrors, because there's always like a turn where it looks like just both players are like, I'll buy my companion. Go. It's like, okay, yeah. I'll do the same thing. Alright, Kiki gets flipped. Obosh has come down. Obosh is getting drowned. And then going to Unholy Heat the Kiki. All the interaction from Dan. Oh, is it a Death Shadow just picked up? It could be how he just starts to work his way back into it. The issue, of course, is hoping that Krista doesn't have interaction, but... Alright, there's Gigantha. There's Death Shadow. Ooh. Going to 16. What are we fetching? Is it a tap Sacred Foundry? Is it a mountain? What's the... Never, no. Not a mountain, it's martial arts. Is it a basic plains? It's a tap Sacred Foundry. Alright, 4 mana going to animate Den of the Bugbear here. Attacking in. Den and Hall of the Storm Giants. 2 lands, man, that from standard sets that have been performing really well in Modern. Obviously, a little bit different to cards, right? Like, Hall's 7 mana to activate it, but it's a 7/7 with Ward. And then Den is just a really nice, neat attack resource for, low to the ground red decks. Is it the strongest cycle that's been released lately? No. I think the channel lands are far and above those two. Or above the AFR lands. But I am about it. Big fan. Alright, gonna bolt the Gigantha to kill it after the Den damage. How big is Den? Is it a 3/2? Oh, why? Why am I yawning so much? I'm so sorry. Alright, attacking with Shadow, gonna put Krista to 9. And play out a Dragon's Rage Channeler. Not as strong as playing a second Death Shadow, but if Krista has a Solitude, he doesn't get blown out by it, so it works out. It is like one of the worst feelings when you're playing Shadow, and you finally play your second Shadow, and they're like, alright, cool, I'll Solitude one of them. You're like, alright, they'll both die. Cool. Thanks. Well, one of them gets exiled, but you know what I mean. I should put shelves in. I'm like looking around my office and thinking of what I need to do. Which I know it doesn't help because you guys cannot see my office. I'm debating on putting shelves in and buying a new cabinet. Alright, Krista's turn. We got a Goblin token here. I don't know if it's a Goblin Warrior. Alright, there's a solid 2 coming out, exiling the Dragon's Rage Channeler. Dan's going to go to 9, which is going to shrink the Shadow to a 4/4. Just passes a turn. I wonder if Krista has Ephemerate. She has Ephemerate so often, where I feel like I just remember the Ephemerate plays so much. Also because like Kiki Jiki does like a Ephemerate effect-ish. Alright, there's a Ragavan. Untap. Draw for turn. There's a Plains. Three mana, play Seasoned Pyromancer. No cards to discard, so you're just going to draw 2. Card is fantastic. Hello? It's just an aggressively loud bird outside my window. It's going to Ephemerate the Solitude, exiling the Death Shadow. Dan's going to go to 13. Hello? Oh, I was on a little hanging basket. Hello, bird. Dan's Ragavan died. I missed how it happened. Oh, okay, Krista dashed a Ragavan. That makes sense. I got distracted by the bird on my like hanging potted plant. Three mana Seasoned Pyromancer number 2. John the Lock. Oof. Actually, it's number 3, isn't it? Because yeah, the one got discarded. Alright, attacking in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Krista's going to gain some life back. Going to 11. It's going to shock down to 4, and has nothing else to do with his, his mana. So Krista's going to take game 2. 2-0 with Obosh Midrange. I think extending her streak to 26-0 at this point. I will say, spoiler, it was broken during this tournament. Unfortunately, it wasn't on camera. So, yeah. Have a great rest of your day, folks. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you greatly.